What's up? Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here on this nice Sunday morning. Absolutely nice. I appreciate everybody being here. So let's say hi to some people. We have Scrap Metal Racing. How you doing? Good. Thank you for being here. Mike, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Cartier Silver, how are you? Siren, as always, thank you so much for being my mod. I definitely appreciate that. Coins making sense. Good day. Hope you're doing well. Eric is going to go grab a top off of coffee. He'll be right back. Good morning, Paula. How are you?
Good morning. Sorry.
He's like, oops,
I
mute,
had to
mute,
find my
mute.
way back home. I was trying to pop out the chat here. Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
And Mike, that is a fact. The only dumb question is the one that doesn't get asked. Now, dumb people do ask a lot of questions. That's different. Yeah, so today is going to be just kind of generalized chit chat. We're going to be talking about a couple things. I have two general questions, nothing major that have come in so far. We are going to talk about whatever comes up within reason, obviously, but we've had as normal conversation happens prior to the stream going live. We've had a number of things ranging from the recent numismatic bust from the scammer that would be, and then to national security issues. So we've talked about everything. Jack Riley, Jackalope, good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Good morning, Silverman. Thank you all for being here. So again, today is about you. So I would like you to feel free to post your questions in chat if you have something. I'm going to first start off by saying that grading, I received a question regarding should I have this coin graded? And I'm not, again, folks, grading is totally up to you. If you want to do it, more times than not, the answer is going to be no. And we have kind of a general rule of thumb. If you have to ask if a coin should be graded, that usually should be a good sign, right?
That's right.
The answer is no.
Mhm.
However, there are times where you may want to have it graded for authenticity, right? Maybe it's something that if it proves to be rare, a great example of that was when Livecoin Q&A received the large date 69 Canadian cent or dime, right? That was one of those that, man, you definitely wanted to get that authenticated. But even in a coin like that, you didn't necessarily need to get it slabbed, but it was a good thing to have done, right? Because of the rarity and the $60,000 price tag that came with it. Now, but those are rare, right? I mean, you're not going to do that all the time. So again, it's totally up to you. We have good friends that they grade almost everything just because they enjoy doing that and they like challenging their skill and understanding, how they do that. They
It
enjoy that.
depends on what your intention is with
Yeah.
what
And
it's
so
doing.
again, it's one of those things where, yeah, that was an epic find. That's
Because
fact.
you can waste a lot of money
Yeah.
grading
So,
coins.
but again, a lot of people say, should I get this coin graded? And the answer is, number one, ultimately, it's up to you. If that's what you want to do, do it. But there's so many better ways to spend your money. And if you're looking at a proof coin and it's American Silver Eagle and it's a bullion coin, no, unless it has some sort of crazy variety
Good
or error
morning,
with it or
Mike.
something like that. Don't grade bullion, right? Just don't do it. It's not worth it. We see that a lot in various places. You see it a lot on Whatnot and stuff like that. Oh my God, it's a perfect 70 ASE. Well, some of those are designed that way. It's a proof ASE. They have a special, way of doing that. It's supposed to be a little bit better. You're going to get better strikes.
Well, can I just jump in here for
Yeah,
just a quick sec?
no.
So a perfect example of that you really can't
That's funny, Cartier.
rely on. You really can't rely on it when it comes to like you were talking about the proof things being. Most of them are going to be 69 or 70, but a perfect example is to go back and look at the gold flowing hair medals that or
Oh
coins
yeah, yeah.
they put up for auction
Great example.
with the privies, right? I can't remember how many of them there were, 50 or something like that, 250. But you can go back and look, like they go 70, 70, 70, 69, 70, 69, 70, 70, 70, 69. Like, and they go in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're supposed to be in order of how they were struck. The first one struck, the last one struck. The first one struck was a 70, and the last one struck was a 70. Now, that makes no sense if you go by like the laws of average or whatever. It makes no sense. And that there would be any 69s in the middle there anywhere.
Well, my advice, if you want a Proof 70 or MS70 ASE, go to a reputable coin dealer and buy one and save yourself the hassle of not putting an MS70.
Most coins, you would save yourself money by, instead of sending your coin to be graded, just go buy an already graded one.
That's right.
Vote for Pedro's got jokes, by the way.
Oh,
should I grade my 1920 piece dollar? If you want to get the counterfeit certification just because it's funny, send it to ANAX.
That reminds me of Chuck when he got some counterfeit. He went to, I think it was Central States, and he went to his buddy's coin shop and he had a bunch of counterfeits, and he says, "Hey, can I buy those?" Because he has a counterfeit collection.
Yeah.
And
there was 1921 CCs. There was all sorts of really unique stuff. Yeah.
Hey, Azure, thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning to everyone. I wanted to thank the panel for the amazing live show yesterday about the gold coins from Dahlonega and Charlotte. Really appreciate all the incredible information. I appreciate that.
Checks in the mail.
I love doing research like that. So if you guys send me questions and you're like, hey, in a couple of weeks, can you do a live on this or can you do a video on this? I'll be happy to do so. But I appreciate it. I put a lot of work into that, studied a lot of different places. I probably put 40 hours worth of that. And then there were a lot of great conversations, a lot of information in chat, a lot of great support. That was a fun episode. So thank you so much for that. I want to share this. Now, I'm going to try something new.
I know that coin.
You do know this coin. So I'm going to try something new. And this is a question, and Jack asked 8 Frosty, I want to know, I sent you a previous image regarding the graded 1806 half-cent counterfeit. What are your thoughts on a TPG certified like this one? Now, we were talking, and this is, so you ready for this, Paula?
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Look. Oh, yeah, 1806. I get a circle on the thing. You're going to have to look at it live.
I can't see it.
So, yeah, you got to be on the live side. So I've actually downloaded a program. So now if we're looking at errors and varieties.
I don't think I would call that a circle.
I could say, look, it's right there. Or there's the eye. It's in this area. And I can draw little lines.
So
I'm playing around. I've got to become better at it, a little bit more proficient, obviously.
No, I know, I'm just teasing you. No, that's
but
cool.
Anyway.
It's very cool.
Fun stuff. So I'll be able to do this a little bit more. So we'll clear this out because it looked more like a face than it did documenting anything.
It's cool.
So this is again when you're looking at grading something, it really goes with the intent. Now this particular one, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong. The intent was this to be graded as authentic, and actually was graded as authentic. It's actually this coin right here. But this isn't a fake TPG. This is actually an authentic graded coin, but it's a fake. Is that correct?
What do you? It's in a real holder. It's really graded.
And but it's a
So this
counterfeit
guy,
coin.
that guy, those purple holders are from this guy B something, I can't remember, but he sells on Whatnot. He has his own custom made slabs. It's a real NGC holder. Yeah, and it's really been graded, and it's a really fake coin.
Frosty has a
And it's a good
telestrator.
one.
Watch
It's a
out.
good
Yeah.
one. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah. So again, when this, so there, okay.
Trader B. Yeah.
How do I say this? It's one of those things where if you find, this is like an error, right? Well, okay. So tell me that the TPG didn't make a mistake.
The TPG made a mistake.
Okay.
They screwed up, is what they
Right.
did.
So it's like an error holder,
but it's
right?
but it is a good counterfeit, I have to say.
And so in this particular case, you know, they say no, don't collect the holders, don't collect the cases. And there are people that collect rattlers and stuff like that. And again, it's to each their own. Ultimately, to each their own. Whatever they want to do. I'm not telling you you can't do it. But if you find stuff like this that's graded and not the counterfeit crap that's out there, there's a lot of counterfeit crap that it's not an authentic holders, and you know the people just are trying to replicate it. That's totally different than what we're seeing in this particular one, where this is actually an authentic graded coin that's not a real coin. This, in my opinion, this is something that is different. This falls under a different classification because you're actually capturing the error. An error in judgment, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I had, let's say that Jack found, and I know that it wouldn't do it, but let's say somebody sent him an amazing counterfeit coin and said that, you know, hey, we want to do this. And Jack sent it in to test the grading companies to see if they'd catch it. I'm not saying he would ever do that, but let's just say that happened and they didn't catch that it was a counterfeit and then it got slabbed. Yeah, I definitely would be keeping that slab, right? I mean, I would explain to them what's going on and I would tell them to remove it, but I would definitely keep that. But you're not sending counterfeits in to try to fool the TPGs, right? That's not something that would happen. Well, it shouldn't be something that's happening. I'm not saying that people don't do that.
I have kind of an option. I have an option as opposed to like actually sending that in and trying to fool them or seeing if they get fooled. I would probably take that slab to a coin show where PCGS or CAC Grading or Annex was at the show and show it to them and ask them if they think it would cross. And then see if they catch it there. And if they don't, then maybe take that opportunity to give them a little schooling, a little constructive education. You know what I mean? Because then you still have it in the slab, which is cool.
Yeah, and Jack, that's kind of where I'm going with that. I don't think that the person actually sent this coin in knowing it was counterfeit. I believe that they probably thought it was a genuine coin.
Oh yeah.
And it fooled the TPG. And again, I want people to understand that there are actually different things happening in some of the slabs that are shown. A great example of this, and I wish Jack was actually on, the Morgan, right? That's something. Oh, that's funny because I was talking about that, and then the vertical mode, Morgan actually showed up in an image. I've got a random slideshow going. Morgan, right? And so you have the Morgan dollar that only in 1921 was the word Morgan put on there. All the other ones were not. And so it's kind of one of those fake holder things where it's kind of the immediate tell. You don't even have to look at the coin. You see the holder, you see the label, you immediately know what's going on. This isn't what we're talking about, right? So we're talking about somebody who thought they had an authentic coin. The TPG didn't pick it up. They didn't recognize it. Okay. So when you're watching the video, either live coin Q&A or reading some of the articles that have been put out in Coin News, Numismatic News, wherever they are that he's posted, they're all over the place, by the way. Jack's information, you have to understand the differences between those. Okay, so the coin that we're looking at on the screen right now is, for all intents and purposes, everybody thought it was authentic. It was later recognized that this coin was not real. Okay, so would you have graded a counterfeit coin? Now, no. But there are people who want counterfeit coins slabbed because they want that funky little yellow holder or orange holder, whatever it is, that says not authentic or counterfeit. There are people that want those, right? So again, when it comes to grading coins or when it comes to getting coins slabbed, it's totally up to you. There's just better things to do with your money. Because, you know, Eric has, and we've seen this a number of times, where Eric has shown a particular coin, and that coin is not worth the money that it took to get it graded, right? I don't remember what nickel it is, but the nickel's like, you know, $20 coin.
Right here.
Grading fees
This
are
is
$35.
one. Where is that coin?
Learn to grade yourself. Then you don't need to pay someone to give you their opinion.
Yeah, and at least be able to get close. You know, I can look at a Morgan. I can get a Morgan up to about 63, 64, and then I'm outside of my game, right? 64, 65, 66. It's hard for me to really understand the nuances.
You've got to be slick with Morgans too, because different dates.
Different date. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the grading is different for different dates.
Yeah. And so I can get fairly close. Now, there's a likelihood that I'm 90% wrong and 10% right. Okay. So I'm going to say, is it a grade in which if it comes back lower, I am happy with that? If it comes back one grade, and God forbid it comes back 2 grades lower, but if it comes back a grade lower, am I okay with that? The first time I made an assumption or assertion towards a grade, I was looking at a 1883 CC Morgan dollar. Had beautiful eye appeal. I was like, it's going to come back 63. I'm hoping because of the eye appeal, it'll come back 64. And it came back 63. I was happy with that because originally my assertion was going to be that. I was very pleased. So I sent in my next coin, which was a peace dollar. Thought it was going to be 64. It came back as a 61. I was like, wow, I was way the hell off. What happened there? So you have to practice. And the only way to get good at grading is to actually grade, right? To actually do it. Yeah, that's a great example right there. So how much is that
this
coin
one
worth?
is not terrible. I mean, it's a $40-ish coin, but it cost them $40 to have it graded.
You have to just, I mean, you have to figure in first the cost of the coin originally, then the cost of shipping there and back, the cost of insurance, because you have to put insurance, the cost of the grading, the cost of all the packaging stuff,
variety attributions, another
variety attribution. Hey, Frostbite, you want to send Jack Young a link?
So yeah,
you have his stuff. You have the link. Can you just forward it?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you had to have it to get on this morning.
Oh hush.
Oh, look at
that's a great example of
Can's Claw 2 just subscribed. Thank you so much. I appreciate if you are in the horizontal mode. If you look at the lower left or right hand corner, you'll see your name up there. So thank you so much, Can's Claw, for the subscription. I definitely appreciate that. I want to go to something that somebody sent me, and they're like, hey, have you seen the story about the Michigan man who was scammed out of almost 400,000
yeah,
in
I just
gold
read the
coin?
article. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
we were just talking about that.
No, it's a different guy. It's not Seth Lutz.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a different guy. It's Patrick
White. Yeah.
Yeah.
$400,000 in. Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah, he consigned a collection of gold coins and then never sold them. And he almost lost them at a CubeSmart auction. The article is crazy. And now he refuses to give them back.
Yeah, be careful, folks. And again, there's an old adage in business. Okay, and your family may be different. You got your nails done.
Good. My toes are even brighter. I can stop traffic.
There's an old adage in business that is, first, don't get involved in a business with family. Right? That is a very wise adage. Doesn't matter how much you love or trust them, never get involved in business. And number two is trust but verify, right? Doesn't matter what is done. If you have a business partner, it doesn't matter what's happening. Trust but verify everything that's done, right?
Yeah, in 5 years, almost $7 million he's scammed people out of.
Yeah. And so do your research, go back and do some stuff. But again, trusted resources are extremely important. And I'll tell you, unless you have really good ties with people, be very, very, very leery about accepting or engaging in business transactions internationally unless you have solid relationships beforehand. Because you're just opening yourself up to issues. Where did that come from? I love that comment. If your mother says she loves you, check another source, or get a second opinion. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Be very, very careful.
OnlyFans, no thanks.
Yeah. Eric wants to know if your nails glow in the dark.
No, black light. They glow in the black light. You know, so when I'm clubbing or my night job.
Outstanding. You know what?
Do something to buy coins, right?
I just had another subscriber. This time I didn't get notification. That's really weird. Interesting. Well, thank you for the person who subscribed. I'm not sure why they didn't show up. Please, when you're able to type in chat, please indicate that you just subscribed. I appreciate it. I don't know why you show up in the item. But thank you. Let's see. I was just talking to a friend Azure. Oh, that was to Stan. Let's see. Vote for Pedro. Do grading services have multiple people looking at coins being submitted? If it's a single person, what would stop them from slabbing counterfeits with the intention of scamming people later?
It's supposed to be 2 and then a controller. So 3.
At least.
Finalizer, I think they call them.
Yeah, and so there's another thing about that, Pedro. Number one, this is their profession, right? Not to say people wouldn't do it. I mean, we have Mint employees who have been busted for taking errors and damaged coins and stuff like that away from the Mint. There was a recent bust from a guy who had millions potentially of error coins and stuff that he had snuck out in a vault at his house. So there are nefarious people out there looking for that. The TPGs are a little bit different than your Mint employees because they're hired for their expertise to do that, right? And so that's their name. That's everything that's tied to is associated with that. So it's a little bit different. Not saying that there aren't people that might, find a way to manipulate that. But for the most part, you're not going to do that. Hey, Fernando, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here. But Mike said that there's 3. And again, you have different quality controls in check.
There's 2, and then there's what they call a finalizer. And he's the one that is supposed to make sure everything is on the ticket for it to get slabbed to go into slabbing. So if it's got a variety attribution, it's supposed to all be ready to go there from the finalizer. Fortunately, where I live, I have talked to a few people that have been graders here because I live within, I don't know, 20 miles of NGC. So there is a lot of people that were ex-graders around here.
Right, Mike.
Hey,
I
Can's
will
Claw,
tell you.
I live down
to
in Texas.
That's right, Mike. I had a guy that we know here that said when a monster box, they expect a grader to do a monster box an hour.
Well, monster.
That's
boxes,
crazy.
come on.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's crazy. That's what, 500
Yeah.
coins in an hour?
That's crazy. Cane's Claw, it's a good morning. It's hot in Ottawa. That serious thunderstorms. I thought they were being attacked. I live down in Texas, the other end of the spectrum, and we had some massive thunderstorms. I was talking to Eric about that beforehand.
Thunderstorms.
Massive thunderstorms roll through here, so I feel you. I hope you're staying safe. That those things can get out of hand really quick. Mr. Zen, good morning from Indonesia. Hope you're doing well.
So I can tell you if you have an error.
I keep seeing.
You are thinking
Hold
about
on.
getting.
I keep seeing Jack pop in and then he disappears. He's not staying in.
Oh, If you're thinking of getting your error coins graded and holdered, you may want to reconsider that for a little bit, because I can tell you that I see probably one a week at least that is misattributed. Yeah, he said it's not working.
So,
it's the right
Jack,
link.
Turn on, make sure your camera and your microphone are on, and then because you're going to have to share your camera, so you have to open it up and make sure your camera is allowed, and then you can disable your camera once in. If you don't have your camera on when you come in, it'll kick you back out because you have to have audio as well.
We need to see your mug. Well, not your mug. You can put something.
I had somebody on a chat yesterday that believed that all Canadians live in igloos and eat caribou burgers at McDonald's. They don't?
You mean
they don't, right? Wait, what?
Oh, that's
I
funny.
lived a mile from Canada, and I can tell you it's a definite possibility.
Well, you know what? Well, it's funny. I don't know if you guys remember this. Do you guys remember, and this is not a sponsorship or an ad for anybody, of course. Do you remember Sugar Freedom Eskimo Pie, the commercials that they used to have for those little ice cream sandwiches?
No.
It was the guy sitting on top of the igloo. He's like, most people eat these right out of the freezer. Me, I serve them at room temperature.
And you know what, Mike?
I remember that.
I love those commercials. Those are great.
There is nothing better than a good plate of poutine.
Poutine, they do. They have poutine everywhere there. I had poutine.
Oh, that's great.
I had poutine in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Hard Rock Cafe, and it was delicious.
It's good.
The first time I had, and last time I've had it, but it was so good.
Even in Detroit, you used to be able to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get fries with gravy.
Oh my gosh.
Silver Eagle.
I think you can still get fries with gravy.
So there are people who like labels. There are people who like to collect those things. Now, we have a person who's trying to come up on panel. Unfortunately, they're having a little bit of difficulty, by the name of Jack Young. We also have another gentleman in the chat by the name of Jack Riley. These people are some of our front lines in identifying and trying to discern counterfeit coins, getting those things removed off of various social media platforms, sharing with law enforcement, really out there trying to defend. And a lot of times when they identify something that is already in a TPG holder, those are kind of, and I don't say this to be ignorant of the TPG holders, but those are kind of big wins, right? Hey, this is something that we're getting out of circulation. This is something that we're being able to resolve. And they buy them as, one, they're kind of like little trophies for them. I don't know how to say it. I don't want to speak for them, but there are they're kind of like, hey, we were able to resolve this. And some of these coins, folks, are highly, highly expensive. Like the one that was identified at the coin show, over $20,000 worth, that ended up being a fake coin inside
That
of
was a Gobrek dollar.
Yeah, inside of a TPG.
He can't. He says he can't. He says it couldn't find my microphone on his old computer.
No worries, bud. We'll get that taken care of. We'll figure it out another time. Jack's ears are burning. He heard me and then he popped into the chat.
He doesn't have a lot. Most of the time, he's not able to come up.
Yeah, it's no worries. Not a big deal.
He wants to though.
Yeah, I appreciate you being in chat 100%. So, but it's again, they do some amazing things. Now, when you're looking at, and this is something Jack Riley and I have talked about quite a bit. Really, I would like to sit down and just chat with him a little bit more, because what he's finding and how he's doing and where he's at in his numismatic journey for as young as he is, this guy is going to be a force in our community. I mean, he's already a force in our community. But he's got some great mentors. And when you look at this, they look at families of coins, the families of counterfeits. And they're trying to identify, is this one of the old Bettys that's running around, that's been around since the 50s, 60s, 70s? Or is this a newer variety, a new version? Is this something that's brand new? And so they keep a lot of things, number one, to kind of protect them, to make sure that they're in a good position, so that they can look at them and scan over them and identify the various marks. But they also want to do it to identify when a new counterfeit comes on the scene. So in certain cases, there's going to be reasons. Now, they may not slab everything. It's okay, Jack. No worries. I appreciate the effort, brother. Seriously, I don't think you know how much I appreciate all you do and all the stuff you support. I do appreciate you a ton. But it's one of those things that they collect counterfeits because they want to be able to track them and identify when new ones come out. What are those elements? What are those items? And then as they look through these things, again, there are front lines, folks. They're the ones out there really digging in and going, hey, there's something new about this. This has the same obverse, but a different reverse. Or, hey, they must have ruined that obverse die, because now we have that same marking on the reverse, and now we have a different obverse that's being used. And that family or that die pairing changes, and they want to be able to track those. So there are people that collect them for that purpose. It's very important that they understand and can see kind of what's happening and what's going on. But that obviously that isn't for everybody. That's a very niche. Yeah, exactly. They're doing the Lord's work. And so that's why people would do that, Azure, right? Hey, what's going on, Seth? How you doing, bud? Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, there's a number of different reasons why people would collect these things. Now, with all that being said, would I ever recommend to one of those two that they go get those slabbed? And hell no, right? That would be an exercise in futility. But I do recommend that I don't have to recommend, they do this anyway, that they constantly have acquaintances and connections within those places to make sure that those things are getting verified, that they're getting seen, that the people that are doing that grading have the information, they have the updates. And then quite frequently, they write blogs about it in Proxy Blog. You'll see the new one that Jack Riley just wrote. You'll see videos on places like Livecoin Q&A, which Jack Young comes up with, all in them, talk about the various things that they're seeing and some of the changes that are being made. So there's a lot of great places where this information is being disseminated, so that we don't have to worry about this. I want to do number 2. This was a perfect segue, and I have to go back to Jack Young's post, and I wish I could find it a little bit quicker. Unfortunately, I have to kind of scroll through all
If you
my
guys
things.
are asking questions, just give it a chance. Keep asking. Ask it again if it hasn't been like. There's a lot of questions coming in.
Yeah, and do me, if there are a lot of questions coming in and I'm missing them, type in the word
Portrait
question
also.
in capital letters.
Do what?
Type in the word question in capital letters so that I can go back and scroll through them.
Yeah, there's a lot in the portrait also.
There's tons of discussion, and I'm not focused on chat. But one of the questions that came back is, what is eBay doing about the counterfeits? That was the second question that I received this morning. And I wish I could find the hey, Mike, throw your channel in the Coin Show podcast. Throw your channel in chat. People are asking how they sub to you. So please throw that in there. I appreciate that. And thanks, Can's Claw. You won't regret subscribing to what is that channel name? Coin Show Podcast. I'm just kidding. I was just joking with you. They had a really good episode yesterday. It was a lot of fun.
It was good.
Guys, I like their hangout when they just chitty chat. I mean, I like the podcast too, but I missed it, Mike. I'm sorry. I did go back and watch it, but I was at the movies, so I was getting my popcorn on.
So the thing that I wanted to bring up, and again, there's very specific language that was utilized, but eBay finally sent somebody to respond to Jack's countless pieces of information, and the gist of what was said was that we recognize we need to do this. I'm not the person who's doing it, and unfortunately, we don't have anybody to do it. We are taking it. Please continue to report. However, at this time, there's not much going to change. Now, there were more things that were said, but generally, that was the gist of what was being stated in that message. So what does that mean? It means that until eBay can either get somebody in to actually fill the role of the person that was there before, we're not going to expect much change. And this goes to a question that I would like to ask you all, and that is, do you think, I know President Trump, whether you like him or not, has a really big thing regarding counterfeit. Now, when we're talking about counterfeit, we're talking counterfeit across the board. There was an article that was done. There was a legislation, a part of Trump's first 100 days involved huge counterfeiting action to try and stop some of this stuff. And the ACEF, the Anti-Counterfeiting Education Fund, dropped that thing, and you can actually go to that site and actually look at what's going on. But counterfeiting, it doesn't matter if it's coins, numismatics, gold, silver, whatever. Counterfeiting across the globe is a massive problem, and the problem is that it's outpacing because there's so many national actors, and we're talking national actors in the really big counterfeiting game. We're talking China and Peru and things like that. When we're talking about currency. But you have a lot of other actors that are going on, major actors that are involved in counterfeits. And so it's very difficult when you're having such a massive influx, number one, to do a lot about it, because you can't share too much information because you might tip them off to what is being done, right? So sometimes you have to be very careful about what you share. The other problem with that is it's growing at such a rate that we just don't have the parties to stop all the stuff. So how do we do that without basically shutting down things like social media? And how do we get places like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, eBay, whatnot? How do we get these people from stop scanning? And unfortunately, that is a question that is it's huge. And right now, there's really no great answer. So I know that a lot of people are like, stop eBay, stop the counterfeiting, stop this stuff. But it's a big problem. So again, I have to give huge shout out to both Jacks and a whole ton of other people. It's just not those two. There's a ton of other people really engaged in this anti-counterfeiting thing. So huge shout outs to them for all the work that they're doing. Yeah, absolutely. Counterfeiting networks are criminal organizations, just like any other. That's fact. And we have agencies that their entire job is to pay attention and to identify this kind of stuff, and they stop a lot. But for every few items that they stop, bunches of them get in, and so it's just there. It's insane. There's just ton of them. But yeah. Let's see here. What other things do we have? Hopefully, have you guys been seeing any questions that I'm missing?
Oh, sorry, I've been looking at stuff.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Yeah, there's lots of them.
Unfortunately, I can't go back too far.
So Silver Eagle asked, what is the reason to grade error coins? I understand that there could be some value in it, but I just don't get the logic.
Already answered that one. Yep.
We
just
did?
Yep, just answered that one.
Oh, okay. I missed it.
Is counterfeiting more prevalent in numismatic coins or bullion? Both. There are fakes, relevant fakes in all of them. If you look at the top counterfeit coins in numismatics, you look at the top 50, a majority of them are gold coins, pre-33 gold. Large majority of them are Indian.
Dirty water.
The other ones are key dates and major varieties and errors. But it's not, you can't really say that there's more numismatic or there's more bullion because it's rampant everywhere. I'm so ambivalent to selling any of my rolls. Thank God coins bought many years ago. Yeah, Azure, I would love to have one of those, by the way, if you're considering, let me know. Dirty Water, hit the like button. Thanks. I appreciate you, Dirty Water. Let's see what's going on. I'm trying to find questions that I've missed. A lot of conversation in chat. I don't see any other questions. If I missed a question, that you do that.
Yeah, retype it. I'm looking now.
Why
Yeah,
33?
I can't go back up that far.
Is it easier to fake than others? So there's a couple different reasons, and I'm gonna defer a little bit of this. I can tell you that there's a story about counterfeiting, and it was a Russian coin, and the $2.50 gold coin is the exact same weight, size, dimension as this Russian coin. And they would actually take US gold coins, heat them up, and then they would re-stamp them with the fake dies that they have for this Russian coin. The coins tested as authentic gold. They were authentic gold. They had the exact same measurement. But the problem is the numismatic value of the Russian coin was so much higher that they were making money hand over fist, even utilizing real gold to do this. But the Indian, I can't tell you specifically why the Indian itself was chosen. I don't know why that. I know, like the 1909 VDB. I know that 1955 double die. I know that some of those big rares, the 1972, the 1969, the 92S Morgan, some of those coins, the really high dollar value coins, of course, right? 1921, 1928 peace dollars for US coins. And then when you get into world coins, it totally changes. But again, the primary element in a majority of the top counterfeit coins across the globe is gold. Or silver, but primarily gold, just because there's inherent value. There's a lot of value wrapped up in a little bitty planchet. So that's one reason. But I don't know why the Indian. My guess, if I had to assume, and this is just a guess, would be because it's in Cuse. And so people that were designing like fake hubs and stuff could actually just engrave into it, and create that countersunk of that die. I don't know that that's necessarily truth, But that would be like kind of just an idea. I'm not
Hey,
absolutely
Littlefoot,
certain.
I have a question. Why do you call junk silver constitutional silver? Let's flip that around.
Okay, so I can tell you why people call it constitutional silver, even though that's
Constitutional
not
was
an
written
official
way
term.
before most of that.
Okay, they call it constitutional silver because in the Constitution, Article 10 or Amendment 10 or whatever that is,
It's
it
Article
talks.
1, Section 10.
Yep, and it talks about that no exchange can be made by state other than silver and gold, right? And so in that, the coins are done by our Constitution, right? The United States coinage is done by legislation. It's done by coin acts, and those things are there. So there is a constitutional backing behind why they call it constitutional silver.
Yeah, but it was written way before most of the coins that they call constitutional silver.
Well, but yes and no. But again, remember that.
Do you consider 1964 Kennedy half dollars constitutional silver? Mercury dimes.
Yes.
They way after the Constitution was written.
Yeah. Well, it was said before. The word was before, not after.
What was before, not after?
And ultimately, I think as long as the mint issued the gold coin is coinage, it's constitutional gold. They just don't use the term because the actual definition is it's a constitutional clause granting Congress the authority to produce and manage U.S. money supply with silver and gold. So ultimately it's constitutional gold.
Yeah, well, and this is why people call it constitutional,
they're talking about junk silver and
yeah, but this is why people call it constitutional. That's where the name came from.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be junk.
Yeah, if you ask, but if you ask most people, it's just considered junk. And what they mean by junk silver are usually the coins that are call, right? But if you buy a big bag, of junk silver. You're primarily going to get call coins. Not necessarily all are going to be call coins, but that's why. It's just it's a term of endearment, and it's because of the exact reason that Eric just stated. That's why they call it that. Now the sticky one is it
terminology?
Yeah, and classified by congressional author.
I'm not saying either one is right and one's right and one's wrong. I'm just saying there's always an argument to be had or a debate to be had over the terminology. Call it what you want.
Well, remember the Federal Reserve.
I know, Chuck. I know why.
Yeah.
I know why people use that term.
Yeah.
But most people, most dealers, and most coin shops call it junk.
Yeah, and that's just because of that. Yeah. So again, it's just a term of endearment, right?
Yeah.
If you want it, they're just silver coins, honestly. But that's why. But again, when you talk about the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve has to abide by the laws and the stipulations that are done. They have the capability of printing money, right? We don't. The mint gets they put in an order and the reserve prints it. But those items and those elements of what's on a coin have to be done through various coin acts. It's the legislation that determines what's on a coin, what is supposed to be there, the design elements, the position, the locations, the devices, who is going to grace the front or the back of that coin or that bill. That's all done by legislation. The Federal Reserve doesn't have any say so in that. They just print what is told, or they mint what is told to be done. And again, the Federal Reserve, 1913. We all know that one. And I'll leave you to your own devices. But So we call them Mercuries, and it's winged liberty. Again, yeah. So why do they call it Mercury? Well, because of the Roman and Greek god, right? You look at
The little wings on her helmet, on Liberty's helmet.
the mythological creature. You see that that god that was there, and there was an affectionate term, right? And that's just what people called it. There's fun stories about why things are called the way they are, but yeah. So they're terms of endearment, and a lot of people they don't know, or actually we see this even with varieties, right? Where it's the spitting horse or the pooping horse or the luggage baggage on the Tuskegee Airmen Quarters, which is just a dye chip on the wing. It's just fancy names. People give stuff. Sometimes they're given to make people think that they're more important than they are, and sometimes they're just terms of affection. David Carlisle, actually, depending upon where you look at it, they were winged shoes, and he did have a winged helmet. They were actually engraved in. Depends on which level of mythology you're looking at. Yeah, Mercury had winged shoes. And if you look at the video that was done in what is it? What was that? What was that movie? Can't remember. I don't remember.
I was just looking at a thread about constitutional coins and why they call them constitutional. SD Bullion had probably the best response. It's because marketing junk does not sell a bag of coins.
Yeah, junk. Yeah. Well, and that again, it goes to labels, just like the spitting horse or the things like that. Percy Jackson, that's what I'm thinking of. Thanks, Papa Giorgio. Percy Jackson.
Clad coins are constitutional coins because they are.
I shared an image
licensed by the Constitution.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, so that is along with the caduceus. That is it's the Greek, not the Roman version of that, if I'm not mistaken. The Roman had.
Great movie.
I've got to remember this correctly, but if I'm not mistaken, the winged helmet happened only in Greek because the Roman had the laurel. I believe he wore a laurel. The laurel was Hermes with the laurel.
Right. Hermes had wings on his helmet.
Yeah. So, also the other version of that god, even though that god wasn't the same exact one, was the Norse god that embodied the same basic principles. Again, when you're talking about Greek and Roman mythology, there were things that came before and afterward, but the Norse god also had a winged helmet as well. So just FYI on that one. Fun stuff.
I love that movie, Clash of the Titans. I love that little owl.
Yep.
The Athenian owl.
Yeah.
I love that.
Did you see the remake of that one?
I didn't see the remake.
So the remake in that one, it's the same guy who played Spartacus. He played what is the other movie he played in? That was Saving Private Ryan. Is he the same guy that did that? I can't remember. But anyway, he's this guy, and he's walking through, and they're getting ready to go out, and he reaches down into this little box where the swords and the shields and stuff are, and he lifts up the Athenian owl, and he's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Oh, you put that thing away." It's hilarious. He's like, "Oh, we don't want that thing. Just some trinket. Put it away." And
did you see what Dirty Water said?
It's funny. Hello, Miss Coin Crew.
Did you see, Eric, what Dirty Water said?
Hello,
Last
everyone.
night, I found a variety that I've been looking for over 4 years. Variety Vista 2012 Nickel DDR 001. Paula, even you'll like this one. I do like that one, Dirty Water.
I didn't, but
It
he's
is a big
been looking
fatty.
for all varieties for 4 years in his.
I know, but that nickel DDR is nice.
I got to look at it now.
Yeah.
And by the way, how you doing, Chuck? Thanks for popping in. I appreciate
Good
you.
morning, Charles.
I almost did that yesterday when we were talking about it. I
know
almost
you
called you
did.
Charles.
Ooh, that is nice.
I know, it's fat.
So what coin was that again? I'll pull up
2012 nickel, Jefferson nickel, DDR 001 on Variety Vista.
I'll pull this up and I'll share this with everybody.
Chuck. Who's talking to you, Chuck? You need to message me so we can just talk about nonsense.
So that talk about
Look at what I was looking at yesterday, though, Charles. What are these?
Eric, do you have that pulled up? Can you share that screen if you have it pulled up?
I do, as a matter of fact. Hold on.
Look at those, Chuck. You need to make when are you going to make a new set of these? You're slacking. I know. I have the full set. I do. In its own little.
Here's the one that. Oh, sorry, Paul. I didn't mean to pull that away from you so soon. Littlefoot, tap. Littlefoot, $2 super chat. Thanks so much, Littlefoot. I appreciate it.
Really see it in the dome.
I want to read that.
So hold on. Go ahead and leave a close up of the dome real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to get that close up on that magnified dome thing. I mean, that thing is like really distorted.
Yeah, you can see. Well, you can't see it now because I just.
And look at the bottom of the U and unum.
Yep, I'm coming. I'm getting there. Even this, right in Monticello.
Yeah, you can see that Monticello there.
It's a fatty. It's nice.
Good find. Good condition. Yeah, you can see it in unum real well
there's
too.
The unum right there.
Oh, the Robert said 74S.
Thickness there.
About the chunky. It is chunky.
Beauty. Nice find, bud. Nice find.
Mm-hmm.
I like my new toy, by the way.
Coin cards.
If you need my help, Chuck, I
have a good day, Ida.
For you.
Just
proofreading is her specialty.
My book, Jack. You will not find me writing a book. I will help other people with their books, but I will not write a book.
I just watched a video the other day of you saying, "I'll proofread."
Oh, yeah, I will proofread all day long. I will proofread, and I will find whatever. But I'm not a writer. I don't write articles. I'll write comments to your Facebook post, but I'll write little snippets of things, but
I'm not seeing it, Davilo. It may take a minute for it to come across. I'll keep an eye out for the email, but I haven't seen anything come across yet. As soon as I do, I'll pull that up.
Editor-in-chief.
Are you talking about DDR3?
Funny ones, Mike.
2020. My bad.
Yeah, sometimes.
13.
Sometimes I get goofy. What are we doing?
Oh, yeah, he found a 2020 DDR13 too. That ain't a bad one either. I still like the other. Oh, that's really nice on Monticello.
Monticello.
Yeah.
What's up, Robert Bruce? How you doing, Magnuson? Good to see you too. Hope you're doing well. I'm just waiting for this email to come across from Davilo. I haven't seen it yet. It may take a little bit of time.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Especially if you included photos. If you included photos, it could take quite a while.
The one you was just showing. Oh, no, that's the coin cards, Jack. These are Chuck's. These are copper coins. This is a project he did. Oh my gosh. How many years ago was this?
that.
3, 4 years ago? 3 or 4 years ago, something like that.
I think it was longer than that, but I think he made a few sets up 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, I have a set. And then at the on the cover of the
2019. That's what I thought. I knew it was before COVID.
It has all of the. Oh yeah, it was a while ago then. So
that was before I came onto the
set.
scene.
These are awesome. They're like trading cards. See, they have like the description of it and everything on it. They're all numbered. And yeah, I was a little obsessed. But they're awesome. I love them. I actually pull this album out quite a bit and go over it. Yeah. Yeah, so this can be yours for the low price of $500. Everything's for sale, right? I'm just kidding. I would not sell that. I love that.
He said those are no longer available and there are no plans to make more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun one to collect. You should turn those into a deck of playing cards. No way, Jose. Pedro.
You know what I need to do? Hey, Chuck, can I get your permission? Next Sunday, I would like to pull out a thing that I purchased from Chuck. These are hand-drawn images of stuff that he done. If you guys don't know, Chuck's a pretty accomplished artist.
He is.
And I've got an entire collection that I picked up from him. Would you have any problem? Either I can have you up and you can show them yourself and talk about them. If you would like to do that, I would love to have you on to do that.
Skibbity toilet.
But I would like to I'd like to share some of that stuff because
it's just something stupid.
It's some of the stuff that you've drawn is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like amazing.
Yeah.
I need to have Chuck back up and go over those. You can pull out whatever you want. If I hear a zipper, I'm gone.
I was waiting for that. Oh my gosh, Chuck.
Oh, yeah, that's just wrong on so many levels. Oh.
That is why we're friends.
That is why we're friends. That is fact. And you guys, if you're not subscribed to Copper Coins, go over and check out Copper Coins. Right. Not only their YouTube, but coppercoins.com, an amazing resource, full of knowledge. Both him and Eric have done just an amazing job. They continue to work on updating the site and doing stuff. Absolutely neat. Go check those guys out. And then, of course, Live Coin Q&A. Make sure you're subscribing to them as well.
I gotta work with emails today.
That's too much fun. That's where the button flies come in. Yeah. No, Velcro. I'm not old enough for Velcro yet.
Velcro.
Although I still have a pair of Velcro shoes from when I was young. When Velcro became the thing and zip and all that stuff was done. Yeah. You seem to have a lot of really cool friends. You know, Mike, I have been very blessed to be surrounded by some amazing people. And what's cool is the more that I stay connected to my friends, the more they connect me to more amazing people. And one thing, it's like the one thing that I really like to do, which is network, right? I love laughing and joking and talking with people and having fun. And so it's just one of those cool things about social media that has been, I mean, good grief. Think about the people that are in chat right now, okay? We've had people from Indonesia on. We've had people from India on. We've had people from Canada, from Mexico. We had people from all over the U.S. We had people from England on. How else would we have met if it wouldn't have been for a platform like social media, YouTube, be able to come together? for all the crap that's out there that we see, all the junk that's out there, there's some really cool things happening. And I've made a lot of amazing friends here. Who would want an interlock enclosure near their junk button for the win? Oh yeah.
For the win.
People from Mars. I don't know too many people from California in here, Beans Claus.
I was born and raised there.
Just kidding. But I did know that they were changing the name. Did you guys know? So you guys know states have nicknames, right? They have their the Show Me State for Missouri, the Beehive State for Utah.
Beaver.
Did you know that the Golden State is actually changing to the Cereal State because of all the Frosted Flakes and Fruit Loops that are running around?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I like that
200
one.
subscribers, just leave your
Just
status.
unsubscribe, right?
Oh yeah, it's okay.
Most people know. They know.
Jack Gallman, you only have like what, 3 days to retirement or something crazy like that? Rockzilla, you know I'm just joking with you. I have to give you guys grief.
Well, he said 7, but I thought it was like 4 days ago. He had 7. I don't know.
I think he's got like only 3 or 4 days left.
Yeah, because I thought like a few days ago it was 7 days.
Unless he's talking about working days. If he's talking about working days, that might make sense of why.
7 days.
Yeah, 7 working days until he retires. I got you. My wife just brought me coffee. I have an amazing wife. And she put something special in there.
I'm in Roxilla said, I'm in California.
Early for that, isn't it?
Roxilla, if it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you.
Pedro's like, you just ruined Fruit Loops for me, Frosty.
And my state is nuts. My state is cuckoo.
Oregon. So my mom lives near Cannon Beach. Absolutely gorgeous. And it is gorgeous. There are little pockets of heaven in Oregon. I mean, where it is absolute, and I love Multnomah Falls.
There's actually more nice than there is.
It's just your city centers are insane.
Eugene, Portland,
like the big city centers are insane. But Oregon, I'll tell you, Multnomah Falls, the gorge, going through that gorge. Oh my God, it is some amazing country. But there are places, and this is one thing that when I joined the military, I had the opportunity to, fly to my duty stations or drive. And I chose to drive so I could see my country before I was going to defend it. And there are places, and one of my favorite places is called Truth or Consequences. And Elephant Butte, or Elephant Butte, depending upon if you know how to pronounce the Butte. And they're in New Mexico, and they are some of the most amazing little places. Elephant Butte at sunset, when the sun comes over the red rock and stuff there, and it has that orangish goldish hue, and it shines and reflects across the lake there near the pier. Absolutely gorgeous. But every state, even a really dry, crappy state like Texas, has some amazing, beautiful places. Every state has their gem.
Yeah. I love Arizona, but it's got some butt ugly spots in it too.
Well, one of my favorite places is, and if I were to move, it's gotten extremely expensive.
Painted Rocks or whatever.
Say again?
Painted Rocks, isn't that where the Painted Rocks are?
Painted Rock is really cool, but I love Flagstaff.
Flagstaff is.
I love. I love to fly 949. I just had the opportunity. Plus, I made money. Back in the day, you actually made money driving across country. And so you could take the plane ticket, or you could actually get paid basically to drive across the country. And so I chose to drive, and I love driving. I've drove across the United States a dozen times. I love being on the road and seeing that kind of stuff. Now, I don't want to do it for a living. My grandfather drove truck for 30 years. I don't want to drive for a living. But it's amazing to see. And everybody in here, somewhere near them, has an amazing, either historical, you get to the East Coast and all the history that's there, or just sheer beauty. There's so many amazing places. Yeah. Eric, is it St. Mary's Island or Mary something Island in Florida down near Daytona?
St. Augustine. But no, I'm not sure the island you're talking about.
Anyway, it's a little small sliver of an island, and oh my God, talk about the most beautiful, soft, sandy beaches. Phenomenal. There's some beautiful places all over the place. Littlefoot has never been in an airplane. I've never flown. But have you soared?
Well, I'm not going to ask that.
I'm not far from Boring, Oregon, says Dandy Dave. Hey, Dandy Dave, how you doing? Good to see you. Well, we got on a really big chit-chat thing. This is something else that we do on Sundays. We go off topic. Are there any other questions? Are there any? Ron Pierce owns 4 planes. Are you serious? Ron Pierce needs to connect with Littlefoot and get him in the air.
Heck yeah.
Trip Wit. Frosty, do you have a brick and mortar coin shop? I do not. I have never worked in a coin shop. I have been to a few of them, but never worked in one. My expertise has been process improvement, strategy, management analyst, that kind of stuff. I like doing research, and it got away. I cut my own hair.
That's your hair.
I cut my own hair and have for 30 years.
He has a Flowbee.
At my age, they say, what hair?
No, but I do know people that cut their hair with the Flowbee.
A Flowbee.
Yeah, but no, I have my shears and stuff and all my things. I've been cutting my hair since 91, I think. 91.
Flowbee. Is that
I was
the
still in
vacuum
high
with the
school when I
razor
was
in it?
cutting my own hair.
Yes, pretty much. Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah,
really
I
a
cut my own hair. I
question.
just shave my head.
Oh, Wes. Oh my God. Okay. So Wes Bennett. Not really a question, but I did respond to your message on Reddit. Unfortunately, I haven't been there for a while. Are you still curious about hobo nickels and skull coins? This guy actually creates them, designs them, carves them. If you guys like hobo nickels, yes, Wes.
Love them.
I would love to connect with you and talk about those. Thank you for coming in. Like, seriously, thank you for coming in. I haven't been on Reddit for a little while. I didn't even notice your response, so I apologize for the delay. But yes, there are tons of people in this chat right now that love hobo nickels. We've talked about them. I've done videos on them. We've done live streams on them. I definitely would like to connect with you. Frostbitecoins@gmail.com. Frostbitecoins@gmail.com. The Frostbite. Here, let me do this. Exclamation point email. And that should show up. And it should present my email again. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Facebook group.
That's the wrong one.
I put the link to the Facebook group in the chat.
Yeah, so definitely want to collect more of those. I want to talk with you. I'd actually love to have you kind of send a bunch of photos, maybe pick up a few of them, show them online, and have people get connected with you. But Wes, thank you so much for popping in. I absolutely do want to connect with you.
Want to see some of his stuff? Wes, can I show them some of your stuff?
Yeah. Please share your screen.
Okay, hang on.
But yeah, he's like, of course. Yeah. You're in right now. You're in a series of people that would love to see the kind of work that you do. So Paul is going to pull that up. Here's some of the stuff that Wes has done. Really cool. If you can make that a little bit larger.
Make what larger?
Your screen. Hold your control key down.
How about the just the photos? You want to
Okay, click on those. That's fine. Yeah, so amazing work. Does some really neat stuff. Wes, if you want to drop some stuff in, but I do definitely want to get some pieces from you. But I'd love to have you up, have you talk about it. Maybe do a video and show how you.
My mouse to work here.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he said he's not set up to record the actual process of it, but I would love to show some of the things that are done and some of the coins that are made and the processes that he goes through to do this. Yeah, very, very cool. So.
Yeah, Wes, isn't that sad about Ron?
Yeah, that's I heard about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How about this one?
Yeah, like wicked cool stuff. I ran across him and I told him that I wanted to connect with him. Unfortunately,
Let me get to your main page. Stop sharing.
Get to your page. Wes, if you'll send me an email, and Davilo, I still haven't gotten your email. I've been monitoring that and checking that. If you want to send me an email with your website, again, it's going to be frostbitecoins@gmail.com. I'll pull that up and then we can kind of go over some stuff. But yeah, it's cool stuff. And again, this is part of getting connected with people in the community and finding really neat things. My craft is kind of knowledge. It's learning and researching and understanding and thinking about processes and stuff like that. I'm not an artist. I can do a little bit, but it's not great. It's not something that I would ever share or sell. My daughter and I, you see my daughter, you know that she's quite the artist. But what I do is I love supporting, and Vote for Pedro is another person very much the same. I love recognizing people who have that skill. We've shown all the various coins and stuff, and again, my favorite piece, I still have it sitting here.
I just sent a request, Wes, for your, I don't know how to say that, ONUZ, ONUZ engravings group.
Mike, what contact information do you want, bud? Oh, Mike, can Frosty share Wes's information? Yes, I will get his information and I will send it to you, Mike. And again, Wes, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate that.
Group.
Yeah, Wes, just send me an email. I'll get everybody connected. Don't worry about it. I'll do that. Don't stress over it. We don't want to have your first time here be a headache. So just send me the link. I'll share the stuff up.
Yeah.
Actually,
with hobo nickels, it's really important to get connected to the right people because there are actually a lot of fake and cast hobo nickels and stuff out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, but again, Wes, thank you so much for coming in. He's going to get me the information. Mike, I'll make sure I get it to you. I will post some of his stuff in my community page. And I'm telling you, when I first saw some of the stuff that he does, I was like, talented as hell. Like, holy crap. And I do apologize for not having reached back with you. But yeah, just neat stuff. And again, folks, if you have skills, I mean, we've seen, Papa York does the wood carving and stuff like that. And I've shown some of the pieces that he's done for me, and, some of the metal art that we get from like people like Ringmaster Ray and Angry Warrior, Kevin Rose. I just purchased a really nice set of moonstone earrings from Herman Ortiz, right? We have tons and tons and tons. Wes has given me free reign. Post what you want. So I will definitely do that and get people the link back, but I appreciate you coming in. And then we'll talk about maybe having you on to go over some of this stuff, and then how they can get a hold of you, where they can pick stuff up. And then again, I'll get you connected with Mike Noodle. So for Mike, for those who don't
Noodle.
know, he works at one of the largest national coin shops in the U.S., Harlan J. Burke. It's very, very reputable. And so I'm going to get you in contact with him, and hopefully that'll be a start of a good thing there. And that's via Mike, not me. So thank Mike for that. I'll reach out to you in a couple hours. No worries, Wes. I appreciate it. And again, I will reach out to everybody. Thanks a ton, man. I appreciate it. Frosty, did you ever get that VAM 21? No, I did not, unfortunately. I wanted to buy it, and we got wrapped up in dealing with, you guys know that last week on Father's Day, we lost our dog of 13 years, our family animal. And this last week has just been, it's been trying to get stuff taken care of, and we had to take Monday off. We were all kind of heartbroken, and we just got the remains and all that stuff. And it's been a rough week for the family. So I had not been online. I haven't purchased stuff. I haven't hardly been in anybody's street. We're doing good. I mean, it's not that. It's just, my wife and I got married 14 years ago. And we had this dog 6 months after we got married, right? We went and bought this dog. This was our family pet. This was like our first family animal. And it was tough. So, but
so sad.
It was a bummer of last week. But we Ringmaster Ray just had the same thing. He just lost his too. So it's an unfortunate part of life. She lived well, and she was loved well. She was a very loyal dog, and just took a person who I wasn't really a big pet person, and totally changed my life. Changed the way I look at animals, changed the way I look at pets. And this dog had a massive impact on me. So yeah, Ron Pierce, it was hard. They are family members, exactly. But you know, I'm not sad, because I got to share a huge part of my life with this little furball. And we laugh and we crack jokes, and my wife and I have little videos, and I'm gonna throw some up for the people who are members. We'll get to see those things, and I'll throw them up in the members area. People can look at it. But yeah, it's hard when you've had an animal for that long. They become part of the family. So, but
for sure,
yeah, you know, same thing with coins. I mean, you know, selling a coin that you've had for 30 years.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, what's that all about?
They're like, you sell coins? What are you talking about?
I have sold coins that, like, there's one in particular that I still grieve. Yeah, so it was my first cherry pick, but yeah, I still grieve lost.
I have one of my favorite coins. I actually picked up from Paula, and the reason it's my favorite coin is I sniped it from Chief Stacker.
You did.
Nice.
You beat him by a foot.
He called, and she's like, I just promised him that he could buy it. And it was the Coral Sea, the Battle of Coral Sea, and it's a 10th ounce gold. And we were on our way to Tulsa, and she's like, well, I'm going to sell this coin because of this. And I was like, it's a ship coin. You guys know me and my love for ships. And I said, I want to buy it. I have the money. It's all set aside. I'm get that taken care of. I took a tube of silver buffaloes to sell to pay for it. Like, it was always there. And he showed up to the thing, and she was sitting there, and I'm like, okay, we got to do this. So her and I recorded this little video. I'm like, hey, Chief. It was like, you bastard, you suck.
Yeah.
Talk to you, actually. I need to message him. I haven't talked to him for a little while.
Those were just sold. Those coins were just sold out of necessity. I had to fund my trip to Oklahoma. So I sold some coins. Azure, it was a 1809 classic head half cent, 1809 over 6 or 9 over inverted 9.
Matt, what's up?
And I actually had it graded, and yeah, I think it was AU 50, I want to say AU 50 or AU, it might have been AU 55. But yeah, it was lovely, and I miss it.
She
But
still calls it George.
I still do. I miss it, but there's still always there's always a chance I may own it again someday. We'll see. But because sometimes coins change hands and then come back, and you see that a lot in like errors and varieties. See people, oh, I used to own that coin. But anyway, yeah, I miss it. And then I had a seated Liberty half dime that I sold also, and that was sad too. My first coins in Tulsa. Oh, did you, Inkman? Aw.
All right. I'm going to throw out some
5
gifted memberships. All right. I want to thank everybody for being there. So let's see.
Oh, Siren got one.
Yay, good.
Yay.
Outstanding. I want to thank everybody for being in here. So Siren definitely deserving of that. Stuart, Natty Stacking, Pete Clock, all received one. Outstanding. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate. Oh, of course, Ron. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Again, I thank you so much, number one, for just coming in and supporting the channel. For those of you that have done things like super chatted and dropped memberships, again, I don't ever ask you for it. It's not one of those things. You want to support the channel, watch the videos, come hang out in the live streams. That matters more to me. But what I really want to say thank you for is the conversation that you have in the stream, right? Because there's a lot to sharing of information and just making sure people understand that we are here as a community. We're here to share information. We're here to relay those things. 949 just gifted 5 more memberships. 949, you're a stud. Yay. Chastina, UCI, Sloppy, David, and Charlie. Outstanding. Davilo, you run a great website. I appreciate that, Davilo. It's about community. It's about having fun. But again, my channel wouldn't be any good if it wasn't for the fact that you guys participate. Otherwise, it would just be me, Paul, and Eric doing what we do ahead of stream, which is just gabbing and yapping and talking amongst ourselves, which we love to do. Don't get us wrong. We love to talk. But
besides just in the morning and the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to have you guys in the stream and to have you guys chat and to see some amazing people. I want you to think about who's in. I was a little late. Saw your Frostbite sticker at Michael Stacking last night. Thank you, Matt. Yeah, and it's one of those things that if you want a sticker, if you want one, frostbitecoins@gmail.com. I'm in need of getting more. But if you want something like that, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you sign up as a member, gifted memberships are different. But if you sign up as a member, I will give you one of my tokens, my channel.
Hey, I signed up.
You should have one.
I think I do.
You should have one. If you're a member and you don't have one of my casino tokens,
I have Kraken, Travis.
I got
Wait,
one
what's
here.
This one? Nope, this is another Kraken.
I got everybody else's. I don't have mine sitting on my desk right now.
I don't think I have one of yours. But I'm gonna send you this.
9 for 9. Send me an email. I'll make sure you have one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's a really cool challenge coin.
It is cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, Robert Bruce, it's good, man. Like I said, my dog lived well. She was loved and loved well. Excuse me. She was very loyal, and she brought my family tons and tons and tons of joy. Let me reach around the corner. Let me grab one of those. Rosie Key just subscribed. Rosie Key, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in that. I gotta find a flip. It'll fit in or something. I need to get the 2x2, 2.5 by 2.5 flips. I need to get some of those. Yeah, I don't think I have one of those tokens.
That is the front and back of those. You don't have one of these?
No. Nope.
Well, I need to change that. So obviously, Texas connection. So you have the United States flag there in Texas because I'm located in Texas, and then you have the Frostbite coins.
Yeah, I have the sticker. It's under here.
Yeah, if you're a channel member, and I mean an actual channel member.
Well, I just became one.
You don't have one of these? Reach out to me. Oh, you've been a member for forever.
Well, I've been a member from gifts.
Yeah, reach out to me. Let me know. If you're a member and you don't have one of these, reach out to me. Let me know, and I'll send you one.
I finally sucked it up and bought one. And so how I do it is I usually have 2 or 3 channels that I join as a member, but I switch it up. So I kind of spread the love. So I'll be a member on one channel for like 6 months, and then I'll switch it to a different channel. And because I can't be members on all the a member on all the channels I want.
Oh, hell no, you'd go broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I give them, I take turns. Some of them I stay members. There's 1 or 2 that I keep my membership with forever, but
so
yeah.
before we Littlefoot, have you ever seen a staple? Oh yes. Yeah. Unfortunately,
there's a famous story of Paula Bloom doing one on a.
I was just about to say, are you going to announce that?
Nickel. That was horrible. I hate cardboard flips. Yeah.
I want to tell you another interesting story. I'm going to preface this and let Paula go a little bit further into depth.
Oh.
You all like these things, right?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Right? These little things here, and you open them up, and you have the coins there, and they're all nice. Well, Paula has a really interesting story that you need to hear about, because when you have these are temporary solutions.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that. That's the Mercury Dime story.
Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly where I'm going with this. So I want everybody to understand, especially if you're new, if you want a coin book, that's fine. But make sure if you're going to be storing your coins in something like this is just short term. So use these to store it, to get the coins that you want, but you're going to want to put these in archival quality or museum quality books, because Paul is going to enlighten you about a story of a really neat Mercury Dime book.
Well, one other thing too I want to bring up: be cautious when you go in and you buy a folder full of coins, because especially in the older ones, they used to actually glue them down. So you have
or they put tape.
Or they put tape. But
toning.
We see coins all the time that have glue on the other side. But yeah, my story is very sad. So years ago, I found an old folder like that that had been stored in my parents' garage, I think. And it was my grandma's. and it was an almost complete Mercury Dime album. Thank God it didn't have like the 16D. Or I think it was missing a couple of the key dates, but I don't think it had the key dates. But it was almost a complete, and the coins looked beautiful. But the album had gotten wet somewhere in the, whether it was actually like got wet or the moisture from the environment, I'm not sure. But when I removed the coins from the folder, the backs were completely slick. The acid from the album had just etched the reverse of the coins, and they were almost completely slick on the reverse.
It always makes me cringe to hear that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it had if it did belong to my grandma, which I'm sure it did, because I don't remember my parents really ever collecting coins. It had been stored for decades in that album or in that folder. So they are not good they're fine for like old circulated stuff, but if you have any coins that have any value to them, or you want to store them for a long time, buy a album. Don't buy a folder. Buy an album that has like the slides, or just put them in flips. Those folders are not good for long-term storage.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you two great examples, and Paula and I use the same one. I'm going to move this stuff out of the way because this Peace Dollar book is one that is extremely good, and the reason that it's extremely good is this one is archival quality. Okay,
and it's cheaper than the Dance Goes too.
Yeah, it'll actually tell you that it's archival quality. It's museum grade, which means they're designed for the long-term storage. And this one's created by Whitman, right? And so I have my Peace Dollars there. Obviously, I have my 1921 and my 1928. So I have both of my key date coins in this particular album. But it's archival quality. Oops. It's museum quality. So the purpose for this is long-term storage of your coin. Okay, now there's other ones that you can get that are even smaller. So Wes just sent me all of his information, so I will make sure that I get that out to you, everybody.
Nice.
But there's some amazing ones. But there's another cool way to do this that's even cheaper. And that is this. These little, small, cheap items. This is my little go back in there. And then I just put them inside the flips and stick them in.
I have them too.
Now these are all my proof dimes from I think the 70s and 80s. But I just take little ones. Yeah. And so you can do that, and it's going to take care of your coins. But Joseph, that's exactly good. You have to be careful with PVS or PVC. Excuse me, PVC.
PVC.
Do something like that.
So you want to make sure that your that the ones you have are in protective holders, but you do have to be careful making sure you have something that's PVC.
Yes.
And
these are no bueno.
Yeah, if you need them in they smell like chlorine, right, or they have a very, very, very strong chemical sense, you may want to look into, is your book a good one?
And on those, the pages usually are PVC. It's as long as they're not PVC,
right?
Flips that it will help them. And make sure when you buy plastic flips, you get flips that say for long-term archival storage, not short-term archival storage.
Yeah. Now there are two people that I will reuse their flips quite frequently, and you can actually even reach out to him. He will work a special deal with you, and that's Chuck. But I will take the ones from people, like if I buy a Morgan or I buy something from somebody and they're the good ones, I will take my other not so great coins if I'm just kind of looking through them or whatnot, and I will get rid of those and I will put my nice coins in them. So if I get really good ones, I make sure those are the ones that go in my album. And again, this is my Morgan one. So if I get stuff, and you see I've got stuff from Copper Coins, I've got stuff from Coin Crew, I've gotten stuff from Big Flip, I've got different pieces from different people in here. I also have one of these. You guys know what this is, right?
Mm-hmm. I have a dong too. I don't know if I have my dong here or not. Oops.
But anyway, yeah. So there's, again, storage is extremely paramount when you're talking about coins. DJ, love you all. Vince from Phoenix, God bless the remnant. Lots of questions. I'll save some. Yeah. Yeah. PVC is a big problem, especially when you're looking at copper and things like that. You've got to be very careful. I picked a Bigfoot pickup last week. That's funny. Wizard Coin Supply, I've utilized them before.
They're great.
Yeah,
you can get great,
you get great deals from them.
Yep.
Yeah, but again, storage matters. You know, another really good thing, it's very cheap, but a really good thing that you can buy is your surfactants, right? Get your surfactant packs, those little gel things, but make sure you replace them. They only last for a little while if you live in a humid area. So make sure you're replacing those.
Whoops. They just flew all over the place.
Like a cloth bag, and you throw them in the oven.
There are these things.
Yeah, the ones you got to be careful doing that with are the ones that are pure silicate. You can only do them like once or twice. The ones that are made out of, I think it's like potassium silicate or something like that. They're the white ones. Those you can throw in the oven and regenerate. But be very careful with the ones that are the plastic silicate. Don't put them in the oven too much. They'll actually break down and they'll actually release a toxic chemical. So you got to be careful. Dehumidifiers are good, but again, the thing with dehumidifiers, you have to make sure that you are removing the water frequently. $10 super chat. I have an album where you put the coins in a hard plastic capsule, and then each page has soft plastic. Then you have to sleeve your album. Yeah, and again, the pages themselves are probably not PVC free, but as long as you're keeping them in a PVC capsule, that's fine. Even the hard capsules can be PVC or have PVC in them, so be careful with that.
You can buy these. You can buy these.
Yeah,
and storage options, but
yeah, you can find really good ones. But now this brings up another important point. Okay, for all my new folks that are here, and even the ones that have been here for a while, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge on the shoulder. Not every coin has to go in a flip.
Nope.
Okay, save some money. Not everything has to go there. Now there are some people that have coins, every single coin in a flip, and that's fine, but that's unnecessary money, right? I'll tell you what I do from copper coins. I actually have one sitting here somewhere. Oh, it's actually hiding under my book. Ta-da! One of these. And I keep these. So whenever I do the reveals with copper coins and we get them in, if they're non-varieties, there's not a mint mark or something on them, I will keep all of these in my little long blue cases. I have it sorted out by year. And when I get 50 of them, I throw them in a tube. And I keep all the flips.
Yep.
Right? It makes more sense. So make sure you're doing that. William JL just subscribed. Thank you so much, William, for the subscription. Welcome to the community. Yeah, but storage is a really big deal. But you don't have to have every coin in a flip. Don't do that. That gets very pricey very fast.
And I make my own little inserts too.
Even Rose, I store mine in crucibles.
Crucibles.
For those of you who don't know what a crucible is, it's how you melt silver. So, or copper. Yeah, that's funny, Kevin.
And you can actually buy slabs too.
Indeed, you can. Kevin, I didn't get back with you yesterday. We had some stuff come up and I had a bunch of chores. I'll follow up with you. I am interested in a second set. I want to pick up another set from you. And for those of you who don't know, he does, if you like gemstones and jewelry and stuff like that, he does some amazing work.
Oh, Kevin?
Kevin, yeah. I just picked up a set of moonstone earrings for Bifrost.
He does beautiful stuff.
She was lurking on Ringmaster Ray's, and she's like, "Hey, Dad." She goes, "Oh, thank you."
Nice.
Because she likes Moonstone. She likes Moonstone because of the superhero character, the Moon Knight or whatever that one is. So she likes the moon.
Nice.
Too much fun.
I am going to get out of here. It's that time. So.
Yep, I'm going to do the same thing. Unless you guys want to hang out and chat some more.
Have
I'll
a blessed
leave
day,
that up to you.
everybody.
See you,
Paula,
Paula.
thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you being here. You have a wonderful day.
Yep, you guys too. Have a blessed Sunday.
I think I'm going to bust out of here too, Frostbite. I got some stuff I got to do today.
Oh, of course, brother. No worries. I appreciate you
We'll
guys
see
coming in and
y'all
hanging out
later on.
today.
We'll talk to y'all later.
All right. See you later. Hey, what reveal are you doing?
46D, I think around 5 o'clock.
All right. So make sure you're subscribed to Copper Coins and turn that notification on so you can watch that reveal. And we'll see you later on.
Thanks a bunch. We'll talk to you later.
All right, brother. All right, folks. Well, hey, you know what? I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and go through and go hang out with some family. My son's going to go fishing. So I'm going to go get some stuff done around the house and to relax and do that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. If you have questions for any of the guests that are on here, I'll make sure that they get forward on. Remember that kindness goes a long, long way. You don't have to do anything special for somebody, just general tolerability and able to understand that people generally are good. But as with anything in this hobby, trust but verify. Okay, you want to make sure you're getting good deals and authentic pieces. If you're looking to buy something, we can always reach out to people like Mike Noodle. Go to Harlan J. Burke. Go check out Coin Show Podcast. If you're into ancients, go check out Ancient Coins with Aaron Burke and make sure that you guys are subscribing to those people. They've done a lot to support the channel. So again, I want to return the favors. To all the people who dropped super chats in the stream today or gifted memberships, thank you so much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Remember, it's not required, but it is appreciated. Folks, I wish you a fond and farewell. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe. And remember, if you drink, lose your keys. Hire a designated driver because I want to see you guys in the streams.